Hey guys, it's Aubrey from Muttley Plans coming to you with a bit of a reading journal plan with me. As I just showed you, I did read A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. Um, yeah, we'll get into the decorating and then I'll chat about the book a little bit. So the booklet that I decided to use is one that you've seen before. It's an Agenda 52. And it is the seasonal floral. I really like it. It's been very helpful. Just in planning and stuff when I want something quick and easy, and I know that everything in this booklet, at least 2 pages of it anyway, will go together because every theme has 2 pages worth of stickers for it. And so I really appreciate that. And I really like florals. So, whoop, there went the hubs.
Love you.
Love you. I'm not taking that out. But anyway, life was lifing. Anyway, so wow, I lost all of my stuff after that. Anyway, I do like this booklet. It does have coordinating florals, and so that makes putting something together quickly, it just makes it easier, and so I appreciate that. I did print out that picture of the book cover with my HP sprocket. It came out, it actually doesn't look bad on the video right now, but it did come out, in my opinion, a little bit washed out. But I'm glad to see that it looks halfway decent. And this is me trying to find my Mahjong A2, I believe, in the matte black to draw my line and everything. I finally found it. In case you haven't noticed, just by the stuff around, my desk is a mess. I did several hours of studying today and then went straight from studying to doing this video. And so, yeah, the desk is a mess, and we're just happy to be here. Anywho, I wanted to try a bit of a new, I guess, technique. It's something that I've seen especially by Muji Bujo, I think is her name. She does a lot of like the putting the florals on the back, then putting the main piece, which for me is the cover, and then layering florals on top of the cover to give it kind of like a 3D effect. And I actually really liked how this worked out. As you can see right now, I didn't necessarily have a pen and ink combo picked out to write my main portion of this plan with me, and so I actually spent quite a bit of time trying to decide between these 4, and I think I even add in a 5th. Yep, there it is, the Natami with the Robert Oster Australis Rose in it, which is that pink color, because I just couldn't decide on my ink and what I wanted to use with this, because like I was like, if I do pink, then it's going to be too pinky, I feel like, and not really go with the cover. But then the blues that I had, I wasn't confident that they would go very well, I guess, and so just had decisions to make, and I finally decided, you know what, I really want to write with my Esterbrook Esty Botanical Garden, and so that's what I chose. It does have, actually, I don't know what ink it has in it. It's supposedly Gale Force Green, but in my last currently inked video for this month, I had several people tell me that is absolutely not Gale Force Green and that I got gypped. So I'm not sure what color. It came out of a Gale Force Green bottle. I don't know if maybe it was a contaminated one or what's going on, but it is a pretty blue with shimmer. So that's about all I know about that one. I actually have fallen it, sadly. I don't know the ink name, but I have actually fallen in love with this ink and how it writes, and I've really been enjoying writing with it. I've actually used it a lot for my notes for classes and stuff, so definitely been enjoying it. I've also been enjoying my Mahjong, which I'm writing with right now. That's got Noodler's American Eel in it, and I do like that ink. It is a very saturated dark black. I think it may be a document ink, but don't quote me on it. Just because in my notes I have highlighted over it a couple of times, and it doesn't seem to smear a whole lot, if at all. I think one of my goals is I am going to buy a document ink and just keep it full time in this Mahjong, just because I do only keep black inks in the Mahjong, and I would like something that I can like write over and mark over, I guess. So if you have any suggestions for a good document black ink, please let me know in the comments below. That little notebook that I pulled on, it was a little Esterbrook bullet journal. It actually came with this Esterbrook Esty Botanical that I'm using for this spread. It's okay. It's actually, believe it or not very fountain pen friendly, even though it came with a fountain pen. And so I actually use it mostly for, or no, not mostly, it is my knitting journal. And so I keep all of my swatches of my different yarns and everything. However, I read while I knit sometimes, and instead of me, keeping a separate journal or anything near me while I'm knitting, I just write down random quotes from books in my knitting journal as well. So that's why I pulled that out and it was looking. All right. So I think I've avoided it as much as possible, talking about the actual book. I don't know if you noticed the rating I gave it. I did give it a 2. Honestly, I could have probably given it a 2.5, but either way, it was not my favorite read. I definitely struggled to finish it. It's a novella, and so I think that's something that I didn't quite have in my head when I was going into reading this, but it's a novella, and it's like a Christmas special novella. Which, nothing wrong with Christmas specials. I guess maybe I just wasn't in the mood, or whatever the case may be, but I wasn't expecting it to just be like a Christmas special, I expected it to add something to the overall storyline that the previous books in this series had kind of maintained and built and everything, and I just didn't get it for this book. It was not my favorite book to have read. Not necessarily because the writing was horrible. If you look at it as a Christmas special, then it is a pretty decent Christmas special. But it was truly more so about like celebrating Christmas, and it talked about more so life after the big war, which isn't a bad thing. It's just there wasn't, I wish there was a lot more growth in it than what this little novella had. And I don't think that's necessarily fair to put on a novella, and I recognize that. But just, yeah, it wasn't my favorite read. Maybe I'll go back and read it again at some point. Just to see, maybe around Christmas, maybe I'll go back and reread it, because it could also be that it was a Christmas book, but it was like 100 degrees outside when I was reading it. I don't know. It could be that. But let me know if you've read this book down in the comments, and just like, what did you think of it? Did you think, like, yeah, I would love to hear thoughts on it, because I hate to be kind of down about a book that I read, because I know authors, they work really hard to get their stuff done and written. And again, the writing wasn't bad. It's just like the usual growth and developments that I'm used to from the previous three books just weren't there in this book, in this novella. And so maybe I'm being a little harsh. I'm not sure. You can let me know down below. But definitely, yeah, I was surprised at, I guess, just the overall arching theme of this book. Um, but yeah, at the end, at the very end, there was a little bit of like a revelation, which, you know, if you don't want a spoiler, then don't read what I write down at the bottom. But that was also very interesting. I did kind of see it coming. So there is that, because this whole novella actually is building on what they wind up, you know, revealing at the end of this book or this novella. But yeah. Anyway, overall, it not the worst book. Like, I finished it. I've had several books that I haven't finished, but I don't know. I need to read the next book in the series, the full one. I can't remember off the top of my head the name of it, but I do need to look into that book. But I am taking a break from this series just for right now, and then I'm going to hop back into it, because if I'm not mistaken, it's not even a finished series. So I don't want to get to the last book that's out anyway and then have to wait a whole year. So I want to be able to pick up this series whenever I feel like it. So I'm going to wait a little bit before I dive into the next book of this series. And yeah, we'll see where that goes. So yeah, pretty much just wrote kind of how the book made me feel, how I felt about the storyline and just different developments in it. Nothing too terribly deep. Full disclosure, I read this book probably a month ago, and I'm just now getting around to like writing and documenting about it. I wish I could say I was busy or, you know, anything for an excuse, but there's really not any big bad excuse. I just didn't get around to doing it. So, but that's all right. So, just gonna finish this up. I did have a quote that I did like from the book. I had to go and look it up online, to be honest, but it was a really good quote. It's to the stars who listen and the dreams that answer. And I think I may have even misquoted it. I think the actual quote is like, to the stars who listen and the dreams that are an answer, or something like that. But either way, like, I think that's a very beautiful quote. And so I hand letter it into this bottom left hand corner. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this plan with me, guys. Again, if you've read this book, let me know. Did you love it? Were you kind of indifferent about it? How did you feel about this book if you read it? Also, if you have any questions or anything about anything that I used in this video today, please just let me know, and I'll do my best to get you links. A lot of the stuff I use is a couple years old, so I may not be able to give it to you, but or give the link to you, but if you have a question, just ask. Other than that, I'm going to leave you for the rest of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.